If your Google Merchant Center account has been flagged for misrepresentation, or you want to make sure that that never happens, this is the video for you. My team and I have fixed over 300 misrepresentation suspensions since 2015. And everything that we cover in this video is exactly what we look at when we go into a new account for a client. It's what Google's AI checks when it crawls your store. And it's what you need to have in place to pass that check. So let's get into it. All right, guys, we've put together a full GMC compliance resource guide. Inside, you'll find all the checklists and templates to follow along this video. Check the description for the link to download it and use it as you follow along with this video. Let's get into it. Okay, first let's talk about Google's risk meter, because this is the framework behind everything we're going to cover. Google creates a risk score for every single advertiser. Back in 2011, Google was fined $500 million by the FTC. This is because they allowed shady advertisers to run scams through their platform. Ever since then, they've been super aggressive about who they let advertise. In 2026, this isn't about fraud anymore. It's about transparency. Google wants to know exactly who you are, where you operate, and how you handle a customer's money. Their AI is crawling your store constantly, looking for anything that feels hidden or incomplete. A shipping cost that only shows up at checkout. A generic AI-generated About Us page. A returns policy that doesn't actually explain anything. Any of that pushes your risk meter into the red. And when it goes red, that's when suspensions happen. So the rest of this video is about bringing that meter down from red to green and keeping it there. All right, let's start with your returns and refunds page. This is one of the most important pages for keeping your risk meter in the green. And I've put together a template you can download and use for your own store. Link is in the description down below. There are 5 things that you must have on this page. Do you accept returns or not? And here's something a lot of store owners don't realize. You don't have to accept returns. That itself is a valid policy, but you need to state it clearly. And in 2026, if you have a no returns policy, it's not enough to just have it on your policy page. You need to also state it clearly on your product page. Google's AI is going to check both. Your policy also needs to apply across your entire catalog. The only exception is clearance sales, but that needs to be clearly stated in the promotion itself. Also make sure you're clear about whether shipping costs are refunded and whether you charge a restocking fee. Okay, second is eligibility. In what situations do you actually accept a return? We got to be specific here, guys. Things like unopened items only, original packaging required, defective products, or if a mistake was made on your end. And there are 3 specific scenarios that every store needs to cover here, regardless of their general policy. If the product never arrived, if it arrived damaged, or if the customer got the wrong item. These aren't optional. If any of these happen, your store is responsible for resolving it. A simple line like, if your order arrives damaged, doesn't arrive, or isn't what you ordered, contact us immediately and we'll make it right. This covers all 3. Third, how do they initiate a return? You need to have at least 2 ways for a customer to start a return. For example, an email address and a phone number works, or an email and a returns portal link. Just make sure that there are 2 clear options and tell them exactly what information to include. Fourth, the timeline. Be specific here. Don't just say within a reasonable time. State the exact number of days. For example, customers have 30 days from delivery to initiate a return. You can start the clock from when they first contact you, or when they send the tracking number, or when you receive and inspect the item. Just make it clear which one applies. And fifth, how the refund is given. Is it a refund back to the original payment method or store credit? Either is fine, just make it clear. Google wants transparency on how a customer gets their money back. Next up is your Contact Us page. This is just as important as your returns page for keeping your risk meter down. And Google's thinking here is pretty simple. Legitimate businesses are easy to contact. There are 6 things you really need on this page, guys, and I've got a full template and checklist that you can download down below. But the first thing is your business name. Google wants to know exactly what business entity is behind your website. Use your legal name, your LLC or corp name. If you also have a trading name, you can include that too. But make sure that you're using the same name consistently across all your Google accounts. That includes Merchant Center, Google Ads, and everything else. Any variation is a red flag. Second, your physical address. That needs to be a real physical location where your business actually operates. And guys, don't use a PO box or a virtual office address. Google's AI now checks these. A residential address is completely fine as long as it's a real place where business happens. What Google is looking for is that you actually exist somewhere. If Google suspects that your address is fake, that means instant suspension. Third, your phone number. This needs to be a number that is actually answered. When someone calls, they should hear your business name and be able to leave a voicemail if nobody picks up. And make sure that this number matches exactly what you have in the Business Information tab inside of Google Merchant Center. Google cross-references these. Those three, business name, address, and phone number, are the minimum that Google needs. Without them, you won't be considered a legitimate business. Now, here are the 3 additional things that you should have to go even further. Fourth, your business email. Use a domain email, something like support@yourstore.com. A Gmail, Outlook, or Yahoo address immediately signals to Google that you're not a serious business. And it's pretty easy to fix, just make sure that it's done. Fifth, we have hours of operation. Tell Google and your customers when you're available. Something as simple as, we're available Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. EST. This tells Google you're a real operation with real availability. It also reduces disputes because customers know when to expect a response. And sixth, contact expectations. What happens after someone emails or leaves a message? Will you reply within 1 business day? 2? Just state it clearly. It builds trust with customers and it signals to Google that you handle inquiries properly. And one more thing I really want to flag here, guys, a contact form. This is something a lot of stores miss. Having all your contact information listed is great, but Google also wants customers to be able to reach you directly from the page. They shouldn't have to open their email or pick up the phone. A simple contact form does that. It also shows Google you're actually making yourself accessible, which is exactly what legitimate businesses do. So make sure there's a contact form sitting right below your contact information on that page. And guys, if this feels like that's a lot to stay on top of, that's why we built the KeyCommerce Academy. Google's updating its policies constantly, and what's compliant today might not be compliant in 6 months. Inside the community, we have weekly live calls where my team go through this with you guys directly. We fix your suspensions, review stores, catch these issues before they become problems. So if you want to make sure that your store stays compliant and your ads keep running, come join us in there. The link is in the description. Okay, now let's look at your shipping policy page. Guys, this is honestly where most suspensions come from. And it's almost every time the same thing. Hidden costs. There are 3 things you need here, and I've got a template below that you can use. But the first thing is delivery zones. Where do you ship and where don't you ship? It's pretty straightforward. And while you're at it, mention how you ship. UPS, USPS, FedEx, whichever carrier you use. It's a small detail, but it adds transparency and customers appreciate knowing what to expect when their order ships. Second thing is shipping costs, and this is the most important one. Whatever you put on this page needs to match exactly what shows up at the checkout. It also has to match your Merchant Center settings. If your policy says free shipping but checkout adds $5, Google flags it as misrepresentation, and that can get your account suspended immediately. So just make sure that these are all in sync. And if you ship internationally, mention any customs or import taxes customers might have to pay. This keeps the checkout clear and avoids surprises. Third, shipping timing. Split it into handling time and transit time. Handling time is before it ships, and transit time is how long it's on the way. Always say business days, not just days. Google systems read this literally, so keep it consistent. Okay guys, that's it for the shipping page. Let's now move on to the privacy policy. Okay, the privacy policy. This one is quite straightforward. The good news is that you can use a template for this. Our one is linked in the description, so download it and you can use it for your store. But make sure that the template covers these 7 things, because this is what Google's actually looking at. So what information you collect from your customers, why you collect it, who you share it with, how do you keep it secure and for how long, how you collect it, how customers can opt out or delete their data, and that everything complies with the laws of the country that you're selling in. And make sure your policy specifically mentions GDPR and CCPA compliance and how you handle data for personalized ads. Google's AI actually scans for these terms. If they're missing it, it can push your risk meter up even if everything else looks fine. And one last thing, make sure that your contact information is at the bottom of this page. Name, email, physical address. Google wants to see that the person responsible for handling customer data is reachable. It's a small thing, but it's part of what keeps your risk meter down. Next, terms and conditions. We've got a template for this one too, link is down below. But unlike the privacy policy, I'd recommend that you go through it carefully. Make sure that it actually applies to your specific store before you just copy and paste it. Here are the 6 things that Google looks for on this page. That customers are accepting an agreement when they use your site, your limitations of liability and any disclaimers, your intellectual property rights, what happens if the relationship is terminated, how you notify customers of any changes to the terms, and your contact information. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, now let's get into the product page. Alright guys, the product page. This is where Google's shopping traffic actually lands, so Google gives it extra scrutiny. Not just your store in general, we're talking about the product page itself. We've put together a quick 10-point checklist just for this. You can grab the full download in the description below this video, but let's go through it now. First, your product title. Keep it clean and relevant to the product. No promotional copy like free shipping or buy now. No emojis, no random characters, just describe what the product actually is. Second, description. Google knows when descriptions are too short, so just describe the product properly. Materials, dimensions, use case, whatever's relevant. The more thorough, the better. And right alongside your description, make sure you have a review section on your product page, whether that's existing reviews or just a widget where customers can leave one. Google sees this as a trust signal. A product page with no review section at all looks thin and unestablished. Most Shopify themes have this built in, just make sure it's turned on and visible. Third, images. Even though lifestyle images tend to get a higher CTR, Google actually prefers clean white backgrounds. Also make sure there's no text overlay at all. Keep them at least 250 by 250 pixels and under 16 megabytes. Basically, just the product, a clean background, nothing on top. Fourth, price. Your price needs to be identical across 3 places. Your ad, your product page, and your checkout. Any mismatch anywhere in that chain and Google will disapprove the product immediately. So just make sure that these are always in sync. Fifth, sale price. If you're running a sale, make sure it matches your product feed. And if the sale has an end date, state it clearly on the page. 6, availability. If a product is out of stock on Shopify, it needs to show as out of stock in Merchant Center too. Google checks this. A mismatch here is a fast track to disapproval. 7th, payment methods. You don't need to put this on every product page individually. The footer works just fine. Just make sure somewhere on the page a customer can see what payment methods you accept. Visa, PayPal, whatever you take, show the logos in the footer. 8th, add to cart button. There needs to be a clear way to start a purchase from the product page. Pretty straightforward, but just make sure it's there and visible. 9th, important links. Links to your privacy policy needs to be accessible from the product page. We'll cover exactly where to put these in the footer section coming up. I also like adding a shipping and returns tab directly in the product description. It makes it easier for the customer and Google sees it immediately. And also, state your shipping cost or free shipping right near the add to cart button. Google loves transparency and it keeps your risk meter down. 10th, any other relevant information. Anything a customer needs to know before buying. Shipping weight if you charge by weight. If the product isn't available for express shipping. If customization adds to handling time, any legal warnings or disclaimers for claims you've made about the product, durability, function, that kind of thing. Okay guys, that's the 10-point checklist for your product page. Let's now get to the footer. Okay guys, last one here, the footer. Think of the footer as the first thing that Google's bot checks when it crawls your store. So we need to make sure that everything is looking just right here. Here's what you need to put in it. Links to your privacy policy pages, like your About Us page, Contact Us, Returns and Refunds, Privacy Policy, Terms and Conditions, and the Shipping Policy. Your payment icons, Visa, PayPal, whatever you accept, just make sure that they're visible. And your business name and physical address. And this is important, it needs to be actual text, not an image. Google's bot can't read images. If your address is embedded in a graphic, it's like it doesn't exist. And while you're at it, add your email and phone number down there too. Add your business hours, something like Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You don't have to include every single one of these, but the more contact information that's visible in your footer, the better. It all adds to your legitimacy in Google's eyes and keeps that risk meter in the green. And if your merchant center is already suspended, you now have everything you need to fix your store. When you're ready to submit your appeal the right way, we've actually put together a full step-by-step video on how to do that. I'm going to leave a video in the description so you can go and check that out before you hit appeal. And that's everything, guys. You now have the full checklist to keep your store compliant the right way. I've linked all templates and checklists down in the description. And guys, if you'd like my team to handle this all for you and fix your suspension with a money-back guarantee, check the description too. I'll put a link there for booking a team with my team and we can talk to you about how we can fix your suspension for your store. We take care of everything for you, auditing your store, finding the issue, fixing the issues, and then talking with Google until we get it fixed. Link is in the description. We'd love to talk with you about how we'll fix the suspension for your store. This video, guys, is also part of our free Google Shopping series. Link is in the description to the rest of that course if you want to keep learning. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Make sure to check out our other videos. This one here might be especially useful for you.